All right, hello. How's it going there, Rasmus? Good to see you. All right, so we're gonna continue working on the helicopter for the challenge. I want to do some career build series. We might do some later, but I want to get some good progress going on this helicopter so we can say this is moving along. So let's see what we got done. So put some new doors on here. I want to work on these winches. I like the way they rotate. I just need to cover the blocks that they're in at the moment. So I want to come up with a better way to do that. I can figure that out. So currently I just put an XML block in here that will kind of look at it and see how it is. It's not terrible, but I'm not a fan. And plus something's touching the face of it, so that's not going to work. Right there. All right, so that rotates out, rotates in. But then when we're inside, because I have blocks touching the face, which I can get rid of, that will be, you can see right there. All right, so I'm going to come up with something a little bit different, a little bit better, but I'm kind of liking the direction it's going, so. I was thinking of putting it on linear tracks. That's a idea, so let's do that. So they'd have to go in what? One block, we'll put it there, 2 blocks, and they're not going to be able to go 2 blocks if they're on the same plane, so we'll take them out of the same plane. So 2 blocks will do it. So I was thinking bifold doors, but I'm kind of I'm gonna play with this idea first, see how I like it. Trying to think of the geometry of this. Nah, I don't want to do that. Let's not be hasty with this. Linear tracks don't lock for shit, so I gotta be careful of that. Kind of want to do bifold doors. So it'd have to be there, and then that will go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is going to cause me to have to duck. So that's one of the reasons I wanted it here. I wanted to have a cover to cover that. Trying to keep it simple. Simple, safe. Alright, so let's see how those sit when they're in. Alright, that makes it hard to walk. See if we can go up. I don't. We can't really go up one more. Not with the engine nacelles where they are. So one thought was to make the wings a little bit wider. Let's screw with that for a minute. I'm gonna get some of this door, but it's unavoidable. Kind of like them right up against the hull, though. Yeah, I really like them right up against the hull. Yeah, I definitely like it right up against the hull better. So. How's it going there, Wilbrak? Good to see you. What's up? What's up? Have you been playing the Tark or nay? Let's do this. Yeah, I don't like this. That's going. So one thing I could do is leave these in place. Squat up the doors a little bit, maybe. Oh, I did that for the, I did that for the ladder, for the sake of the ladder. The ladder's 3 wide. Or yeah, it's 3 wide. I can move it. Can I move it there? No, I gotta move the door in. Okay. Let's do this. Stop. Stop. Go back. The hell is it? This kills the realism just a touch, but I think it's minimal. And it fixes a lot of the problems I have, so let's try this. Why is that? I hope that's not the same color. Let's see how this works. Alright, so we just need them to hang pretty high. Alright, that's going to be a problem going this way. Let's go all the way up. Alright, good. So now they're in front of the door. Problem is now they're too high and they will sit funky. I gotta close the door, so. So the winches could actually come down one, I think. What's the height of the door? One? Let's do this. Let's not get too rash here. What I'd rather do is raise the height of the door because I think they're still too short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're still too short. 7's a character height, so. I think I want. Let's try that instead. It's still below the... Is it still below? Let me look. There we go. So I can put them right there. I need a little slack in them when we start. So let's see, can I go down one? Nah, problem with the stairs there. If I go out one, that will give me some slack. Yeah, so they don't want to stow right off the bat, which is fine. Just can't get them stuck behind the doors here. That's the problem. Try some more slack on them. Yeah, they spawn in too late is the problem. So slack is fine. They just spawn in too late. And here, let's see if they'll fit correctly in the inside. Alright, so that's gonna get stuck behind the door. There we go. That's actually not too bad. They sit so high up that they are out of the way so I can actually walk. That's not too bad. They're a little bit iffy on getting them in correctly. So I could go up higher again with them and just reset their starting position. And then the other thing I'll do is I'll slow the doors down. Yep, that is already maxed out. Okay, that's maxed out. That's fine. But I just need a little bit more slack. A little less slack, and then let's see why the doors aren't working. I got them set up backwards is all. I'll catch up with chat in a second, guys. So now the doors move slower. Gives it time to push them in. They're not going to move that slow, but they need a little less slack. So the slack wasn't too bad. The problem is the doors were closing so so fast that the harnesses had not kind of gotten into the world yet, and that was the main problem we were having there. There, so now they have time to get in the opening before the doors start to close. Now the doors are going to close faster than this. That's ridiculously slow, but that just makes sure that they're going to have time to go in. I'm not a huge fan of them clipping through, but I do wish we could add a node for speed on this so we could do it outside. There we go. Okay, I can push through there fine. Alright, so I like the way they close right up against the door. That way they're out of my way. Yeah, so they stow up pretty good there. That's not bad. See where I can put this, if I can put this somewhere else. Good, that can go there. See how that one sits now. Yeah, so that needs to come out one. All right. Alright, good. So those are working better. The other thing I could do, which I don't know if I want to do, is put them on, if they were vertical, and then rotate them 180 degrees total. So that's one choice, having exterior winches like that. The other one I was thinking of is put them on, rotate them so they aim down into the doorway, and then when the doors close, they go up here, inverted upside down. So let's save this. All right, let's see. I gotta see if work got back to me. Where's my phone? I gotta find my phone. I'll find it in a minute. All right, so that's saved up. Let's go ahead and so this is the other option here. I'd have to square out the top of the door, which I don't really mind. So the way to do it would be like this. That door's a little bit on the tall side now, but what it would do is, let's see. I'm gonna try to drop these before I have phantom problems like crazy here. Alright, it's hitting something with the phantom forces here. Yeah, it's colliding with something. Something's getting collided with. So let's see. Let's see what the phantom force is. Trying to see why this is having Phantom Force now. Is it because there's some block there? I don't think so. Alright, so it's definitely still causing it even without that. The easiest is just having the door close the cable in. I think this is the simplest solution. That's not funky, doesn't cause any problems. Let's move on to something else for now. This is working. It's just not perfect, but it's working. Let me see if I can find my phone. I'll be right back. All right, good. I got my phone. All right, see what we want to do here. All right, this stuff can go. Got another thought on doing the door here. I know I keep focusing on these doors, but one notion is to do bifolding doors. They're kind of a pain in the ass to do, though. I think what else I want to do on this right now. Let's go ahead and trying to think what's the best autopilot to put on this. A bunch of snow problems. I gotta read a couple messages here. Let me do my laundry right fast here. All right, let's see. Let's get off of that for a little bit. I don't want to complicate the startup sequence and the flying yet because I have so much testing to do that will really screw things up. We can put in some nav lights. Let's do that. Just want to make some progress. Okay. Landing lights. Strobes. Like the forward ones. Yeah, they're the forward ones, alright. Beacon. Alright, so some progress. Get that done. Started working my new autopilot for helicopters. I gotta work on that some more. Trying to think if I want to join these gear, and the answer is probably yes, but I don't, not right now. Alright, got the lighting done. That's low-hanging fruit. Could you just drag in the correct direction that I want you to, you scoundrel? Thank you. Do all that, or I could do something with this to make it look like it's part of something, so. Gonna watch the beginning here anyway. That's where that is. I think how to texture the walls properly too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid starting really complicating the start process. Also thinking about just doing some career for a little bit. So we got plenty of time. Let me check the date on this one. It's in March somewhere. All right, March 23rd. So we got about a month. So that's a good bit of time. So let's save it real quick. Started working on a autopilot for a helicopter. Let's launch one of my helicopters here. I want to see where this one's at. 'Cause I'm trying to make like a master helicopter autopilot. So this is probably one of my most recent helicopters. Let's see, Master Power Avionics. So this one's good. This one's diesel. Alright, so the benefit of this one, I think we got some pretty good autopilot stuff in here. Let's see. So if I go back there. So this has a lot of the stuff I already need in it, which is helpful. Set an altitude. Because I would like to play with this in the career series. And so I'm trying to, we can get this kind of working. Get the autopilot from this and put it in there. Then I can play with it in the career series. It's just turning around a point, that's what it's doing. It's just turning around the GPS point right now. This also has position keeping, so I can set a GPS position, which we'll do once we get down to the altitude. Alright, there it's at 50 feet. And then we want to go ahead, we're going to move the GPS waypoint over there. And then it's going to fuck itself up. Is that what it's going to do? It just was too rambunctious. This one has a very small engine, so. We want to put a heading we want it to hold, so let's put, God damn it. Let's put a heading in there too. It's the power on this one. If you look, we keep getting a low power light because it overreacts, so. I think Katydid's position keeping is better at the moment. That's just Katydid's design. The other thing, Alistair wants this to work at 100% wind, so like, let's go ahead and change the altitude just so we have a little bit more playing room here. Let's kick the wind up. So this, you can see it's keeping its position with the wind pretty close to the waypoint. Definitely, this one still needs to be tuned in. So you see at 100% wind, this will hold its position. So you can do rescues with this one. So like say we go down, get out of your seat, you can go do some rescues. Gotta get my legs through this properly, that's the problem. There we go. So even though you're having a storm, you can go down on the winches, go to a rescue even at 100% wind. So that's what I'm looking to do. So I can take my autopilot out of here, and I've got a new autopilot panel, so I can put that in. So you can go do a rescue, you can come back. And we have the new system in the winch where it accelerates the winches. As long as the winches are further down, they'll be going max speed. And then as they get closer to the helicopter, they'll go slower, so you don't have any problems. All right, good. So let's go ahead and toss a bunch of these parts in here. You know, it needs tuning, 100%, but especially every different vehicle is going to need different tuning. All right, that's the brake panel. What is that about? Variable brakes, okay. So let's see if I want to just, I think taking this overhead's not the worst idea in the world. 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah. Because that's going to save me from reinventing the wheel for no apparent reason. And then I got to make all my own XML avionics at some point. It's either going to get analog or I'll make my own. I'll see how much time I have. So the good thing is I'm going to put my new autopilot panel in here. My new autopilot panel takes care of these two, and then I need to do the nav panel so it takes care of this keyboard, but that really cuts that down a lot. What's this? RPM. So I want to take some of these, and then these will get changed out later, but I want to have this running, and this is a good way to get it running, and then I can change a bunch of stuff out instead of trying to start from scratch, which will take 100 years. Okay, good. This will get changed because I don't need all this, but again, I'm going to prioritize keeping this running where it's easy to work on, and then I want to play with it in career so that I kind of, get motivated to keep working on it. And I will do my own panels here at some point, but for right this second, I'm not going to bother. I think this is autopilot here. All right, good. That's most of the guts out of there. Winch controls. I don't need winch controls. That is bearing panel, autopilot. This is another thing with those, with the changes they made to be able to stack nodes. Like, you see how big these panels are? That was a huge problem with this helicopter, like how tight I had to put everything. So that really fixes that. Coaxial yaw, we don't need. Transponder locator, lights. I already did the lights, but I'm going to do it with this panel because it's already plumbed in. There's lights. Yeah, this helicopter was a bear to get everything fitting in there correctly. Okay, what else do we need out of here? That is coaxial yaw we don't need. Winch controls we don't need. Seat control panel, what is this? Okay, that's for... What the hell's that? That's lights. Yeah. The name of this should change. Overhead panels, gotta go. And now that we can stack some nodes too, a lot of these will get much, much smaller. Connection system, what's that going to? Okay, that is my, that's the connectors for docking on the ship. Don't need this, but I'm going to pull it so that I can see have any problems. Like this was a real pain in the ass, this helicopter, to get to all these microcontrols fit, which people underestimate how big of a benefit that was when they made the stackable nodes. Like this was so brutal because of like how many nodes I needed. Like I could cut out so many nodes now. That's really huge. Because like I had to put fuel up in the roof here, and so I needed to be able to hide microcontrollers in here and put fuel and have spaces and voids, and it was just really tough to do. And much easier now. Okay, what's that? That is the gyro, winch controls, control surfaces. Like I remember having to reshape this just to be able to fit micros in. Just like every inch of this thing is filled with micros. All right, we'll start plumbing some of this in. So first thing I want to actually do is, don't want to quite do that yet. Let's look. Let's start going through these one by one. So bearing panel. We can restack a bunch of these nodes. And I want to redo the bearing panel at some point. Have I seen the new buoyancy blocks? Yeah, I was playing with them a little yesterday. Let's see. So like we can restack a bunch of these and make this a lot smaller, but I have to then figure out where they're all going. So let's play with this slowly here. All right, let's go through lights. Lights will lose one block, that's it, so that's not worth playing with right now. I'll lose two. Transponder and buzzer. That's not losing anything. These are Basiliciouses. I need to make my own at some point, especially if I want to use them for this challenge, so. Like, look how much smaller. That just went down 4 blocks. That's huge, and we could add another 2 composites if we need to. That's huge. And you see how much this improves everything. Like the bearing panel. Let's just go ahead and start tearing it apart. So that one we can stack 3 on that one. So there's 3 right there. Like, look how much smaller that just got. That's 5 nodes we just shrunk that by, and we have a spare node now. Like, that's why people are underestimating how big of a change this really is. And then this will shrink even more, but like, look at how much we've shrunk this by. You know, what's that? 1, 2, 6, 7. This one just shrunk by 7 nodes. That's huge. Big, big changes. All right, let's go ahead and save this. I want to go do some career. I don't want to fart around with this right now. So let's save this. Because this is the thing, it's going to complicate it more, and I don't want to do that right now. Let's see what I want to do. Let's go play some career game. So I'm gonna kill the stream. We'll start up a new one with the career build series, and then you want to join for that? We'll do some career game. But thank you guys for watching. It was good hanging out. If you want to go watch that career gameplay, I'm gonna start that stream right up. So just go ahead and jump right over there. But if you liked the video, give it a like. If you're new and you enjoyed it, consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys next one, which will be in a couple minutes. Bye.